Have you ever landed on a GitHub page and just stared at it? It can feel like you're looking at the dashboard of a spaceship, right? There are all these numbers, tabs, and weird technical terms everywhere. It's honestly a little intimidating. But I promise you, it's not nearly as complicated as it looks. We're going to break this whole page down piece by piece so that by the end of this, you'll know exactly what you're looking at. So here's our game plan. First, we'll get a handle on what a repository actually is. Then we're going to put on our detective hats and check out the project's vital signs. See if it's healthy. After that, we'll dig into the actual content, see where it fits in the bigger GitHub world, and wrap it all up with why any of this is important. Ready? Let's dive in. All right, first up, what even is a repository? We have to start here because this is the absolute foundation. If you don't get this part, nothing else on the page is going to make much sense. Okay, so a repository, or repo, as you'll hear everyone call it, is basically a project's digital home. Think of it like a folder on your computer, but way, way smarter. It holds everything, all the code, all the files, all the images. But here's the magic part. It also holds the entire history of every single change ever made. It's like a time machine for the project. Now look right at the top of the page. You'll always see this. It's the project's unique address, and it's super simple. It's just the owner's username, a slash, and then whatever they decided to name the repository. That's it. That's how you find and share any project on GitHub. So now that we know we're looking at the project's home base, how can we tell if it's any good? Or, if anyone's even home? Well, just like a doctor checking your pulse, we can look at a few key numbers to get a quick snapshot of the project's health. One of the first things your eyes probably jump to is this number right here, next to the little star icon. In this case, it's 859. This number is your first and fastest clue about how popular this project is. So what does it actually mean when someone gives a project a star? Yep, a star. It's basically the like button of the developer world. It's a super easy way to say, hey, this is cool, or to bookmark it so you can find it again later. The more stars a project has, the more people in the community think it's interesting or useful. Simple as that. But right next to the stars, there's another number. Here, it's 217. And this one tells a deeper story. It goes beyond just liking something. This number means people want to actively do something with this code. It's called a fork. Forking is like hitting make a copy on the entire project. Imagine you find a great recipe online, but you want to try adding your own secret ingredient. You'd copy the recipe onto your own card so you can mess with it, right? That's a fork. It gives you a personal copy to experiment with, and the original project remains completely untouched. So let's put it this way. A star is passive. It's a thumbs up. It just means, I like this. A fork is active. It means I'm going to take this and do something with it. So while stars tell you about popularity, forks tell you about potential. It's a huge clue that people find the project so useful they want to build on it themselves. All right, we've checked the project's pulse. Now it's time to actually open the door and see what's inside this workshop. And to do that, we're going to look at these main tabs right here. These are your main navigation tools. The code tab is pretty obvious. That's where all the files live. Issues is kind of like the project's public to-do list and suggestion box. It's where people report bugs or ask for new features. Pull requests is where other developers show their work and say, hey, I made a change, what do you think? And actions is where all the automated behind-the-scenes magic happens. Okay, let's pull the camera back for a second. We've been really focused on this one page, but it's super important to understand that this page isn't an island. It's more like a spaceport, a gateway to a whole universe of other powerful developer tools. And that universe is huge. I mean, from this single repo page, a developer can tap into all sorts of things. They can automate their testing with actions, spin up an entire computer in the cloud with code spaces, or even get an AI partner to help them write code with Copilot. This page is just the front door to a massive software development platform. So we've gone through all the different parts, the vitals, the tabs, the whole ecosystem. But so what? Why is it actually so important to know how to read this page? And hey, speaking of what's important, if you're finding this breakdown useful and want more simple guides to developer tools, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button for our channel, EasyDev. It really helps a ton. After looking at all those little details, what's the one big idea you should really walk away with? It's this. A GitHub page is a project's living, breathing resume. And it's totally transparent. In just a couple of minutes, you can see how popular it is from the stars, see if people are actually using it from the forks and pull requests, and you can see what problems it's facing by looking at the issues.
It tells you the project's entire story, where it's been, where it is now, and where it's headed.
So now you have the key. You know how to read the story. The next time you land on a GitHub repository, you're not going to see a confusing mess. You're going to see a resume. You'll be able to check its pulse and figure out what it's all about. The page didn't change, but you did. So the only question left is, what story will the next repository you visit tell you?